Now, do you remember these cards? I'm sure you do. At this point, I'd like to stop for a moment and thank you for sending them to me in quite some number. I've seen them, I've read them, and I appreciate them, and now I will act. As a result of my ongoing consultation with your leaders and with other stakeholders, I have developed a policy to help bring the residential parks industry into the 21st century with greater accountability and higher levels of training. I want this to be a financially successful and strong industry, working within a modern, fair framework of rights and responsibilities. So here's what I'm going to do for you if we get into government. First, we need to know who's working in the residential parks industry and to identify which parks have long-term residents. Residential park operators will be licensed. Licensing, while not suited to all industries, is nevertheless appropriate for residential parks management, as the sums of money paid by residents for their homes have risen over recent years to the point where they're spending $200,000, $300,000, maybe up to $400,000 for their dwellings. The cost of picking up your home and moving it to a different residential park is substantial and now perhaps wholly impractical. Some residents have said that they feel trapped in their park and can't afford to move if relations with the operator deteriorate. That reality can't be ignored. Apart from the asset values tied up in residential parks, there are the added pressures brought into the situation by factors such as age, health, and lack of financial resources. So put together, these are compelling reasons to institute a licensing scheme. Licensing has the benefit of enabling stakeholders to keep track of who is working in the industry, what their record's been like, and where they've worked before. The system of licensing also allows government to develop a program of sanctions appropriate to different degrees of unacceptable conduct, ranging from fines, further training, suspension of the license for a period, and finally, if necessary, expulsion from the industry. I hope these powers will not have to be used too often, but government and the leaders of this industry will be better positioned to step in and encourage compliance with the rules should problems emerge. Secondly, our policy also aims to prevent conflict by requiring that all new operators, and I say all new operators, must undergo a minimum level of training and education to resource them for the challenging role of managing a residential park. Training must include familiarisation with relevant legislation, basic financial knowledge and budgeting, an understanding of dispute resolution practices, and a genuine awareness of how to work with residents who have special needs. As a guide, I would see the training course being similar to the one run for new real estate agents. This currently costs around $590, although it's only $510 if done online. It will be affordable and it will be relatively quick. I would anticipate that the fee would be paid by a large corporation for its staff, or in the case of mum and dad park buyers, it would be seen as part of their acquisition costs for buying a new business. In this context, it's relatively inexpensive and a necessary part of seeing park management as a profession, not just a job. In the 2004 report, Home Among the Gum Trees, which was commissioned by the New South Wales Ministerial Advisory Committee on Ageing from the Parks and Village Service of the Combined Pensioners and Superannuators Association of New South Wales, it was noted as an imbalance between residents and operators. And I quote, "The manager of a residential park has considerable power over virtually every aspect of a resident's life. The quality of the management of the park and the respect shown by the manager for residents can affect the whole of an older resident's life. Resident satisfaction with their lifestyle is highest when managers consult residents and treat them with dignity and respect," unquote. The report compared other situations where managers are licensed, and I quote again, "Currently, on-site managers of blocks of residential apartments or units are regulated under the Property, Stock and Business Agents Act. They're required to pass a fit and proper person test, and their training and accreditation is part of the National Vocational Education and Training System. By contrast, residential park managers have a far greater level of responsibility than managers of blocks of units and need a far higher level of skill in interpersonal relationships, yet they're neither regulated nor is their expertise recognised.